Hey, Matt, let them know a fucking podcast they tune into right now. Who's running that shit? Let's go.
Hours of Chaos with Don Chaos. The 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 hours of chaos, Jugg's in this bitch, no Jugg shit. Karma King, Don Chaos, never switch. From Denver to D-Town, his name carries weight clouds from all around. Know that he put it down like an OG. Just know he stays down. Eating phony jugs, covered up in steak sauce. That's how we stay on the hours of chaos.
Welcome back, everybody. It's your boy, Don Chaos. Hit that like button, smash subscribe.
Let's get weird. Say your prayers, check the mic. Got my notes, we're live tonight. Cameras rolling, chats on fire. Super chats taking me up higher. Yo, what's up? Let's break it down. Crazy theories all around. Conspiracy, some rap reviews and interviews with sketchy dudes.
Enter podcast.
Mic is hot, stream won't crash.
Stream won't crash.
Clickbait title, thumbnails rad. Tell your mom, tell your dad.
Tell your dad.
Wi-Fi strong, let's go in deep. Did Bigfoot take my Uber Eats? Aliens, ghostly vibes, or just some guy who's dead inside? Late night talks about rapping clowns. Don Chaos, don't mess around. If tech goes bad, then I might rage. But hey, like, comment, share this page.
Enter podcast.
Mic is hot, stream won't crash. Clickbait title, thumbnails red. Tell your mom, tell your dad. Shout out to the chat, y'all are wild tonight. Yo, who's trolling? Mods, get them out of here. What up, Evan? It's your boy Don Chaos. We live, we roll. Hit that subscribe button or get the hell out. Wake your ass up, grab a drink. It's podcast time. What you think? Talking madness, going deep. Who stole my goddamn sleep? Clickbait title, views go high. UFOs and cryptids fly. Was Tupac clone, did Elvis die? Let's debate, don't ask me why. Enter pause. Whoa! Livestream strong, Wi-Fi last. Tech goes crazy, I might crash. Still won't stop, kiss my ass. Juggalos, rap reviews, conspiracies, I swear are true. Aliens hacked my phone last night. Now my fridge plays Mega Light. A live chat poppin', what's the tea? Super chats and cash to me. One dude spamming, he's gone for life. Mods delete, block on sight.
Enter podcast.
Woo! Mic's on fire, stream won't lag. Clickbait title, thumbnails mad. Tell your mom, tell your dad. Oh damn, we got a gust in the house. Yo, what's up with the Illuminati? Did Bigfoot steal the moon? Did Bigfoot steal the moon? Did Bigfoot steal the moon?
Hangs your podcast.
Live tap hopping, what's the D? Super chat sending cash to me. One dude spamming, he's gone for life. Mods delete, block on smite.
Hangs your podcast.
Mic's on fire, stream won't lag. Clickbait title, thumbnails mad. Tell your mom, tell your dad. Oh damn, we got a gust in the house. Yo, what's up with the Illuminati? Did Bigfoot steal the moon? Did Bigfoot steal the moon?
this one. Of all the superstars on the roster, this guy is amongst the hardest working. That goes without saying.
Definitely shout out to Don Chaos. Much love to Carnival Spirits.
Shout out to you, Don Chaos. You've been putting in work, bro. Respect.
Congrats to Don Chaos for 1,000 subscribers. Whoop, whoop.
Keep it going,
Congratulations, Don Chaos. Yes, keep it going, man. Good luck to you, fucking Don Chaos. And fucking hell yeah on your 1,000 fucking followers.
Yeah, you know who it is. Ouija Mac, bitch. Shout out to Carnival Spirits. And fucking shout out to Don Chaos one time. You know what's going on.
This is my brother. Don Chaos and Brother Lynch on here.
Yeah, and Carnival Spirits. What's up, man? Don Chaos. What's up? It's your boy Brother Lynch, and we out here tonight. Let's go.
Fuego Flames and my nigga Don Chaos. What's going on, B? It's my brother right here. It's my boy. Excuse the left. Excuse the left.
Know what up, y'all? This is Don Chaos, and I'm with a very legendary man. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, Sean. Yeah, we at the gathering, y'all.
Radio show of the year. This one's always controversial. Coming in number one, we got Hours of Chaos with Don Chaos. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, congratulations, man. Don Chaos, Hours of Chaos.
Yo, what is good, everyone? How is everyone? For some reason, I forgot my microphone was off for a bit. So, since I made that funny little error, let's go ahead and play this clip that we've been playing on the show lately. That always gets people chucking and laughing, and it never gets old. So, let me find it first. Where is it? There it is.
Yep. Oh! Yeah. Yep. Oh. Yep. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yep. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yep. Oh. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that clip never gets old, y'all. That clip is just funny. Oh, the background music is now too loud. Hold on, let me turn down. There we go, that's better. But yeah, we have a great guest tonight. We have a lot to cover, and I think this is a good guest. So our guest is waiting right now in the green room. So everyone, please welcome. Let me get my announcing voice right. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Hours of Chaos podcast, all the way from Finland. Please welcome to the Hours of Chaos podcast for the first time. Please welcome Rottweiler. What's up?
Hey, what's up?
How goes it?
Hey, nice to see you.
Same here.
I'm so stoked to be on the podcast, really. This is really awesome. I've been looking forward to this.
Same here. Like, when you talked to me and you told me that you watch what I do and you like what I do, I'm like, wait,
yeah.
there's even people in Finland that like what I do? That's dope.
Yeah, isn't it dope?
So
all the way to Finland.
Good. It makes me feel good because when you know that there's people that are worldwide that like appreciate what you do, it makes it feel good.
Yeah, of course. And all the way to Finland, that's pretty dope. I mean, like, it was interesting because I watched your podcast on YouTube and I just noticed that, like, fuck, like, a lot of your guests are people I actually packed my playlist with. So I was really, really impressed by your podcast.
Yeah, and I noticed you mentioned something about Brother Lynchung. Of course, he's on the intro of my show. But if you go look at one of my past episodes, I actually interviewed his nephew, who's also a rapper.
Yeah, he's like, I mean, I've listened to all of his albums, and yeah, he's actually one of my favorite artists.
Same here. Brother Lynchung, in my opinion, he doesn't get a lot of the credit he deserves. He's very underrated.
Definitely. I think The Season of the Sickness is probably my favorite album. I've listened to it like so many times.
Yeah, like you could tell he influenced a lot of rappers, and I always tell people I'll say this until I'm dead, and even when I'm dead, I was like, if you listen to early Eminem, you can tell he was influenced by Brother Lynchung. You can tell.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I really like the intensity that he brings.
Exactly, and he just has like one of those like unique voices, like where you can tell it's Brother Lynchung.
Yeah, definitely. Really, like he stands out so much.
Oh yeah, so what we do when we have our guests on the show is you just give a brief introduction, who you are, where you're from, and then we will then start asking with the questions.
Okay, that's so much fun. I'm from Helsinki. My artist name is Rottweiler, and I'm super into like hardcore rap. And yeah, now I've been quite active for the last couple of years. Yeah, I really, 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 really love rap, and I've always been into hip hop in general. But out of all the four elements, I think rap was or is definitely has always been like closest to my heart.
Oh, yeah. And that's one thing I love is that this music can like spread worldwide. Like, music is doing good when it spreads worldwide. And even if music is in another language, even if you don't speak that language, but the music makes you feel a certain way, that's the power of music.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. I think the same. Yeah. I mean, think about it, like I'm Finnish, so I didn't grow up speaking in English, but I really loved I loved everything. My dad used to play me, like my dad actually played me a sham, and I was so young and my native language wasn't English, but I still loved his music.
Mm-hmm. And that's one thing I've always loved is the power of music. Like, I don't speak a lot of German, but I love the band Rammstein. They're like one of my favorite bands.
Yeah, I know Rammstein. They were super popular in Finland when we were like us 90s kids were teenagers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I just love like that music can like spread like everywhere and like it can touch on like so many different emotions and stuff.
Yes. My pup wants to say hello. Hi, buddy. Hi, you can come here too.
Oh.
Yeah. She wants to show her toy. Now you can go to your own place, you know? No, you don't want to. Huh? Come here. Come here.
Whoops.
Yeah, sorry for that.
Oh, you're good. No worries.
I'm gonna put her back to her pen. Now you wait there. Yeah, I definitely think the same about music. That I've always liked music that has a lot of intensity in it, and you could just feel that the artist puts a lot of emotion into the music. And I feel like hardcore was always that for me, or it still is.
Oh yeah. So what would you say if you can remember, like what was like the first like piece of music that you like remember, like falling in love with, like no matter who it was, whether something you heard that like grasped your attention? Like me, I grew up hearing like a lot of classic rock and metal because that's what my parents listened to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the first rap tracks I ever heard was probably some like single from Spoonie G, to be honest, like a very old school rap. And then after that, came like, well, my dad played the Chronic, which of course made me go crazy, and then he actually played me the season of the Sickness as well, the album, and yeah, well, that album pretty much like, man, there are so many, but I think the season of the Sickness was probably, yeah.
Yeah, I think my first introduction to hip hop because like the roller skating rink I used to go to, and this is how old I am. Everyone remembers the days of going to the roller skating rink, but the roller skating rink there used to play like a lot of old school hip hop. So I remember hearing like a lot of Beastie Boys, Run DMC, LL Cool J there, De La Soul.
Yeah. Yes. And they were so popular within my friend group in Europe. Like I think in Europe, especially in Finland and the hip hop scene in Finland, people really appreciated all of the ones you just mentioned. Especially De La Soul. You could hear like at parties, we would listen to that a lot.
And that's one thing I love about like Europe and the rest of the world is you guys have a lot more appreciation and love for like hip hop, not just the music, but like the culture and the community it creates.
Yeah. Yes. Definitely. Definitely. And I even remember parties when I was young where you could actually see people emceeing and also people at the same time when somebody was emceeing, maybe the other people were like bombing the walls. So I've really enjoyed growing up with being able to experience and see like the four elements of hip hop, whether it be that it wasn't usual for them to be in the same place at the same time, but at times that would happen as well. And I just loved it so much.
Oh yeah, and I've had friends that did MCing. I had homies that would break dance. I had homies that would DJ. I even had homies that would freestyle. Like we would be like those kids that you hear when people be freestyling and we'd be like pounding on our lunch table like to create a beat or something.
Yeah. You know, that reminds me so much of that one legendary Sugar Free clip where he freestyles. It's a legendary clip. But yeah, I think that if you're skilled, you can rap without a beat and like I love to see that. That is so dope.
Exactly. And one thing I love, like, especially with MCs, is when they can be diverse, when they can like spit like a different style, and then you can tell like what style they're doing. Like maybe they could do horrorcore, but then they could do some like gangster rap type shit or some straight like beatboxing type stuff.
Yes. I definitely think so too. And actually, like, I think if you think about like beats per minute, I think if you can rap to a fast-paced BPM and a slower one, so if you could do like a boom bap slow, but then also do some chopping, then I really respect that. And that's what I try to do with I have drumsticks at home, so I just tap them at different BPMs and I try to go super slow or like a BPM rhythm that is more like old school, like boom bap, and then like faster ones.
And that's one thing I've been saying that like rap music needs more again, and I'm glad that's starting to come back. Is like the live drums that you like hear in the background.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely.
So what would you say? How did you like come up with like your like MC name or your rap name, and did you go by other names beforehand? And how long have you been MCing?
Well, I mean, my rap name, we could start there. Probably came from when I went to school. I found the school was boring for me pretty much. Like I was very good at like music and then like arts and then sports. But then I skipped school a lot when I was like 7 and 8 even. I went and hang out with the dogs we had in the neighborhood. And then, I felt like most of my time was spent skipping school and hanging out with dogs. Uh, because dogs, I'm autistic, so dogs are my special interest, and I just thought that school was boring as hell. so I had to get the fuck out of there. So I spent my time a lot with like Molosser Breed, and then there are also like many other stories tied into it, but that's definitely that's definitely one, and I can definitely relate to the. I'm pretty like I have a temper, so I could definitely relate to the intensity of like working line breeds. But yeah, what was the other question? How long? Yeah, so I did MC a little bit when I was a teenager, but then my youth was kind of like colorful to be honest, and then I had a break, like a very long break. Then in 2022, I think I did write some stuff, but I actually picked up on rapping like 2 years ago in the way that I got super active, like super hungry and super active, and I did it like 5 or 4 hours a day, and I still do it like 4 or 5 hours a day. Uh, yeah. So now I'm like in a hyper focus around it, basically.
Hell yeah. What would you say is like your creating process, like when you're writing a song? Because everyone has their own
Yeah.
creative process. Sometimes someone hears the beat first. Sometimes they need
Yeah.
to get inspired by something that's going on in their life. What's your creative writing process?
Well, I think everything started with like I had to experience things in my life that I can turn into energy that is more like constructive. So I did all of that in my youth and growing up. I'm a bit over 30 now, so I have all of the experiences I've ever wanted to write about or like take that energy and make it into something constructive. So I have that, but then I have inspiration 24/7 basically. So I mean, I do visual art, so for me, a track that I'm writing probably starts with an inner picture. Like I see a lot of in my head, I see a lot of inner pictures, so then I just have the urge to put them into words, and then well, my writing process is kind of fucking crazy to be honest, because like when I hear a word, I see it in a type different like color, and then uh, I just collect words a lot because English isn't my native language. uh, so I have like certain type of words that phonetically sounds a certain way, so I put them in one category, and then uh, yeah, it's actually a very it's a very interesting process. But yeah, usually starts from the inner picture and from the feelings I have from everything I experienced growing up, and then the words just I just collect them from everywhere, and then I make then I make a track. But I also I think that those are some of the ways I do it. But yeah, it's definitely it's definitely a process.
Oh yeah, and that's one thing I always love is like hearing like because everyone has their own different creating writing process, like what they
Yeah,
do and stuff.
hell yeah, yes,
And I think that's what makes people unique and stuff. And that's why I'm glad, like especially hip hop, it's starting to go back to that formula to where everyone has their own sound and unique theme or their own style to them that like defines them and stuff.
yeah, agreed, definitely.
And a lot of people don't, and I heard somewhere that they're trying to like take sampling out of rap music. I'm like, why?
Yeah,
The whole basis of that music is sampling. The whole basis of that of what hip hop started was it was a way to pay homage to old music and stuff.
yeah, yeah. I've actually had some people I know that make beats complain about this and talk about like how they don't want to use samples anymore. They're kind of like hating on it, but I guess it's what you prefer. But I definitely I mean some of the greatest tracks to me are ones where they have like a James Brown sample and stuff. So and if you think about like the history of hip hop, I mean I love samples. So but I guess it's down to like what you prefer.
Exactly. Like I prefer both. Like sometimes I like beats made from scratch, but then when I hear a track that's being sampled, sometimes it might make me go back and even check that song, or it might make me remember, go, oh, it was sampling that old song. I haven't heard that old song in a while.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And I really love listening to all of the songs that a track is sampled, like the samples taken from songs. Like I love listening to them. Like the old music, I listened a lot to soul and funk and jazz and stuff like that when I grew up. So
Yeah, and you look at all like the music that really influenced like hip hop, jazz influenced a lot of it, a lot of blues, like even James Brown back in the day was rapping.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, I agree with my friend in the chat. He says it's because AI is abusing a lot of it. And yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Fuck
Oh,
AI.
is AI abusing the samples now?
Or
Is
I think,
that's
or I think people,
Jesus.
or I think even AI is like ruining beats, or ruining people's voices. But yeah, that's a whole
That's
nother
so
thing.
crazy. That's so crazy. That's a whole discussion in itself.
I
AI
know.
is crazy. I don't like. I don't. I'm not a fan.
Same. I just can't. It ruins like people's writing process. It just ruins people's like art. I was like, yeah, if you can't do art, fine, but it ruins it for the people who know how to do art and how to process art.
Yes, I think so too. And like the tracks I've heard that are AI, I just don't hear the soul in the music. I don't hear like the feeling. I don't hear the struggle. It's just I think you can still tell that it's AI because it's something very humane that is like missing from it.
Exactly. And that's why I was going to ask you, do you guys have problem with AI over there in Europe? Because I think it's starting to become a major problem here in America.
Well, I mean, I have to be honest. I've only been like concentrating on like writing bars and training IGP with my puppy, and like I haven't really read the news about AI to be honest. I've just
That's
been in my own little autistic bubble. But what I've heard, uh, there has been some like in terms of identity and stuff like I heard about a phone call. I don't know if this is true. This needs to be fact checked, but there was a phone call made with like a relative's voice, and in terms of like trying to get money out of a person and stuff like that. So yeah, some type of trouble like that, but not in the art scene. I'm just gonna say I'm not a huge fan of like AI, but in
me.
terms of like album covers, like I love when people make them themselves and draw them and whatever. So
Yeah, like some of the most iconic hip hop albums were drawn from scratch. Like the artwork for Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style album, that was drawn from scratch, and that's dope.
yeah, it is really dope.
That's
But
one thing
hey,
I love is I love when people would do that, when they would just do everything from scratch, or sometimes an artist would use like maybe an old picture of them and then they would edit it just a little bit. That's fine.
yes, yeah. And I don't want to hate on people. A lot of people use AI. They drop a single and they just make an AI picture of it. And I don't want to like hate on those people. If that's their cup of tea, then cool. It might be a very dope track still. But not my favorite thing.
Exactly. And it's like now when people start making like actual AI music, I'm like, no.
Okay, that's also where I will draw the line, and then I will say I am a hater of AI music. Definitely, I don't like that
Like,
shit.
like I understand if someone's just making it just to have fun, but when you're trying to make a profit off of it, it's like, no.
No, 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 no. Music should be left alone from AI, but we're
Exactly.
past that already.
And we were even talking about like how even MF Doom is like very well respected, like in Europe. Like I noticed, especially in Europe, like I said, that Europe like has an appreciation for like hip hop music and just like music in general. Like there's a lot of like festivals that happen in Europe that are just dedicated to hip hop music that I would love to go to, that I've watched like artists I will go to. And I'm like, oh, I mean, yeah, there are festivals here dedicated to hip hop, but there's not like festivals fully dedicated to hip hop like how you guys do out there in Europe.
Yeah, yes, I think uh, Europe has it, like, or Europeans in general have a lot of knowledge actually about like hip hop and the history of hip hop. And in my friend group, we all loved hip hop, and then when the mainstream music came and it took a bit more over, there was always like fighting between like the people who were hip hop heads and then the ones that bumped like the new mainstream music. So it was always funny to see people like have arguments and fight over it. But yeah, like there are a lot of hip hop lovers in Europe for sure.
Yeah, like I've watched like footage of like some of my favorite artists, like they're like rapping along, and the whole audience, no matter what country they're at in Europe, is rapping along to the lyrics, but in their native language, and it sounds dope.
Yeah, definitely. There's a big appreciation for hip hop in Europe.
So how would you describe, and I always ask my guests this, like how would you describe like the music scene or local scene or even just the hip hop scene in Finland where you live?
Well, I mean, I think that there was, when I grew up, I saw a lot of people with turntables and emceeing and break dancers and stuff like that. So there was like I think some reminiscences of like more of the old school things. And then later on, I mean, we have a very dope graph scene here. Uh, it did suffer a little bit since the laws went crazy, and people had to go to jail and shit for it, and the police was beating the shit out of the painters as well and stuff like that. And you could like basically end up in jail for painting a whole card and stuff like that. But I think that Finland still has and had a dope like graph scene, definitely. And the rappers here and the beat makers here, they're I mean I think we have some very skilled people here, definitely. But it's a very small team. Finland is a very small country, so there's not many of us.
Oh yeah. So what would be some like other like local acts that you would like recommend people like check out?
Well, my favorite rapper in Finland is still and has always been Julma Henry. So he's on my label, or he Mercy Records that I'm signed to. It's his label. So that's Julmah. Yeah. But if you go to my profile and you tap like the label Mercy Records, you will find him definitely.
Oh yeah, like if you know anyone who would even else love to come on the show, just like send them my way too, because I love to promote people everywhere.
That's so nice. That's very dope.
And I like how like you've even told me how you can tell that I like have an appreciation for the culture and everything.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I like the fact that you keep the culture alive because your podcast uh, is exactly that. And for me, like as a big horrorcore fan, I listen every week. I check what LSP has put out, the Lyrical Snuff Productions, and then Biogang. So every week I go and check, okay, like are there new releases and everything, and then because they have some really great music coming out, and I think it's pretty fucking dope that I listen to it, and I'm in Finland and you guys are in the States. And like when I found your podcast, I just saw you had a lot of guests from that are signed to those labels. So I just felt in my heart that you're actually like keeping the culture alive with giving that platform to people. So
Oh yeah, Biogang and LSP, those are like my like people. Those are like legit my homies.
I was so happy to find. I mean, I listened to Insane Poetry when I was like the Grim Reality album. I listened it when I was younger.
Yeah, like a lot of people don't realize Insane Poetry's been around for years, like
Yes.
since the 80s at least.
Yeah. And you know what? A lot of my friends in Finland know him. And they're like, when I show them LSP, I was like, check LSP out. Like they have some great artists and blah blah. And they were like, hey, like insane poetry. Like I've been listening to insane poetry since I was just a kid. So
Exactly. That's one thing I love about like LSP, that I've watched it grow from a local Denver label where I live to now LSP is like known all over the world, which is dope.
Exactly. Yeah.
And one thing I think what makes LSP a great horrorcore and wicked shit label is everyone does horrorcore and wicked shit, but they like do their own spin on it. Like Scum will maybe like add a metal element to it. Insane Poetry adds more like a West Coast like old school vibe. And then Donnie Menace, he does wicked shit in horrorcore, but he does it where he sounds like a boom bap or a battle rapper.
Yeah. Yeah. They all definitely have their own unique styles that I also very much appreciate. And I think that's the dope thing about subgenres is that they might be a part of the same subgenre, but they all sound a bit different. And if you compare that to some mainstream music, more on the mainstream side, you could have like a lot of people sounding kind of the same still, but they really stick out. So.
And that's one thing I've always loved about Scum too. Like in some songs, he could rap in English, and then in that same song, he could switch and start rapping in Russian, and it sounds dope.
Yeah, that sounds dope. And Russia also has a crazy they have a really dope hip hop scene. I didn't understand that until I actually loaded I loaded I downloaded Instagram 2 years ago. So after that I discovered like Russia's hip hop scene, and they have some really talented rappers there too.
That's what Scum has always told me every time I talk to him. He's like, Russia's got a crazy hip hop scene, but they like have a great hip hop scene. They have a great metal scene.
Yeah, definitely. They have all of that. Yeah.
And he's always told me, he was like, it's a beautiful country to visit, but it's not a country you want to live in.
Well, that's true. I mean, Finland. I'm in Finland, and we kept our independence, but we did have a winter war with them in 39 and 40. We lost Karelia to them, but we did like keep our independence. But and I like Russia. I've visited Russia, but I wouldn't want to live there, to be honest.
Exactly, and that's why I tell people the scenery is beautiful there. It's a good place to visit, but even Scum has said that's why he left the country, because it's not a good place to live. He's like, it's beautiful to visit, but it's not nice to live there because how the government treats people.
Yeah, and like I have friends that came to Finland from Russia, and they are so nice and so open and so warm and super nice people. But they also told me like kind of the same stuff that Scum told you well, I mean they're my friends that came from there, they're very artistic and into like free speech and stuff like that, and that they just wanted out of there, because it's not a country of free speech, to be honest.
Exactly, like you can't even. It's hard to be a music artist and express yourself there.
Yes.
From what I've heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
So what would you say like are like your like biggest like MCs that are like some of like your like biggest influences and stuff?
Well, I listened a lot to KRS-One when I was a kid, and then Rakim as well. Yeah, I listened a lot to them, and then Big L, listened a lot to him, and Sugar Free. Actually, Sugar Free is one of my favorite artists. Still today, I think every week I have to listen to some album again from him. But then Redman, I love Redman. Like Redman and Method Man had great albums together as well. But I think Redman is one of my all-time favorites. And then yeah.
Yeah, KRS-One's definitely one of my favorites, and so is Rakim. And I've even noticed a lot of the old school MCs have been moving to Europe because they know that a lot of people there have more appreciation for it. Like, doesn't KRS-One, I think, live somewhere in Europe? I forget where, though.
Oh, yeah? Really? Okay, well, that's cool.
I mean, here's another name you probably know. I know he lives in Germany now, but remember R.A. the Rugged Man?
Yeah, of course. Oh, he's
Yeah.
in Germany? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's cool.
he's from New York, but he lives in like Germany now. And I've interviewed his niece. She's actually an artist too.
Really? That's so dope. Yeah.
And what would you say would be like if you had to pick? What are like some of like your like favorite like hip hop albums of like all time?
Well, I think probably for me, Project Pat's solo tape, and
Yes.
then that, and then The Chronic from Dre, and then well, I have to say, like I really did like Nas God's Son. That was very important, that whole album. And then
I love that one too, and I love the
yeah,
inspiration that he did when he was writing that album because at that time his mom was dealing with breast cancer and stuff. So that's where a
yeah,
lot of his inspiration for writing that album came from.
yeah, and the samples on it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those.
Oh yeah, it's always hard. I always tell people if I could name all my favorites, we'd be here forever. I can just always like name my favorites off the top of my head. Like I love MF Doom's Food. That's a classic.
Yeah, yes, definitely. And
When it comes to Wu-Tang, one of my favorite solo Wu-Tang albums is I love GZA's Liquid Swords. I just love that album.
yeah, it's a classic. And yeah, the Street Gospel from Sugar Free is also one that I like a lot.
Yeah. Like I could just like I told people we'd be here forever. Like I don't know how people can like number stuff. It's hard for me to do that. I was like, I can't name my top, but I could tell you my favorites. That's easier for me to do.
Yeah.
Because I hate like number rising stuff because I can't do that. Like I tell people, especially when it comes to hip hop, there's like so many good albums. And then when you think about it, if you do number them, you're like, wait a minute, I forgot this album.
Yeah.
I
And
want,
it's a shame. It's a shame people don't listen to albums anymore. I feel like they mostly consume their music through like snippets of from TikTok and
yeah, and I'll still like buy physical copy of music and I'll still like listen to like albums from beginning to end, especially old school albums. I was like, wow, everyone knows a lot of this album for just these singles, but the whole album is really good. Like MF Doom is one of those artists where I can just listen to his albums from beginning to end or just on random and stuff.
yes, definitely.
And I listen to
I'm so happy to hear that because that isn't what people do these days, you know?
like when I just need to take my mind off stuff, I like to get lost in music. And like some of the music I'll listen and vibe to is like MF Doom, or when I'm trying to expand my creative side or come up with ideas for stuff. Sometimes I'll have a Tribe Called Quest on in the background.
That sounds really dope. And I think you get into it like a flow when you listen to an album, uh, versus because here, wait, what is it in English? The word I'm looking for. Well, I mean, um, yeah. I think when you listen to an album, all the tracks are tied together, so it's like you don't get the same feeling out of it if you listen to them separately.
Exactly. And that's also one thing I love is like concept albums, like albums that run like a movie that you like listen to from beginning
Yeah.
to end. And I'm glad,
Yes.
especially in hip hop music, there is starting to be more like concept albums and stuff, which I love.
Yeah, I feel like it's coming back a little bit.
Yeah, and everyone's being diverse. Everyone's like going more outside their comfort zone. Like I have a homie who's an MC. Like usually he does like just conscious rap and stuff off the top of his head like a regular MC, but he got to expand more of his creative side and do a horrorcore song for the first time, which he never ever did horrorcore. Like I said, he would do like conscious rap or just poetic rap. So he tried doing a horrorcore song for the first time and he nailed it.
That's dope. What was he like? Do you remember any of his lyrics?
He's part of like GRE, which is like it's almost like it was like Insane Poetry's like little side label, which was named after his label Grim Reality, except the name of the label is called Grim Reality Entertainment.
Oh, okay. That's dope.
And if you had to pick, one of the questions we usually ask our guests is, you're stuck on a desert island now, whose discography are you like taking with you, like to like last on that island forever? Like who could you think of like that has such a great rich discography?
Oh, that's a great question, but it is a difficult one. But because I have a lot of favorites, I need intensity and a lot of energy. I mean, honestly, that would probably be Redman, to be honest. Because every time I listen to his music, I feel like I'm alive, especially in the morning. I'm not a morning person, so to get me going, that's what I listen to usually. And being stuck on an island must be boring as hell. So I definitely would need all of these albums there.
Oh yeah. Some of my picks, I would go with like Wu-Tang Clan, like not just their
Yeah.
group albums, but their solo albums and the people that are associated with them. So that's like a big discography in general.
It is, but you know what? That's a great pick because you have a lot of diversity there.
Exactly, that too.
Yeah, and I mean, this isn't hip hop and rap, but I have to say, all of the Pink Floyd albums are dope.
Yes.
And if I would be on a desert island, I would probably be Pink Floyd in a desert, in an island, stranded in an island with Pink Floyd. Yeah, that would be pretty trippy. But yeah, but Pink Floyd also.
Oh yeah. So what's like some other music you enjoy besides like hip hop? Like what would probably be like one of your other like favorite like acts in like music in general?
Actually, I like Ben E. King, and I like old music like soul and jazz, blues, funk. I love funkadelic. I have a lot of in my attic. I have a lot of vinyls from Funkadelic. And Maggot Brain is a great album. And then yeah, and then a little bit of progressive rock. Like we had a time in Helsinki when there was a lot of live music out there in bars, and I used to go and listen to blues, and I used to go and listen to progressive rock like every Monday and every Thursday. So those genres definitely.
Hell yeah. One of these days we'll have to get you back on the show and you'll have to show us some of your vinyl collection. I'm sure people would love to see that sometime.
Yeah, that would be great. I like to collect them. I have them on my puppy wants to say hi. I have them on my yes. I have you can come and you can come here. It's okay.
It's all good. We love animals here. My dog's like chilling right behind me somewhere.
Really? Oh, that's dope. Yeah. So yeah. I would love to show my vinyl collection, but those are probably the genres that I listen to a lot. And actually, I also, even though I make horrorcore and listen to more like dark music, I actually listen a lot to Bob Marley and the Wailers too.
Yeah, my music taste is like all over the place. Like I could be listening to Bob Marley one second, then I could be listening to like some Cannibal Corpse, like straight metal, and then I could go be listening to like some Prince. Like my music taste is all over the place. Like I told people, I just like to have a love and appreciation for music.
Yes, same here. Definitely same here.
Like if there was ever a day where the world was going to say, okay, you have to choose between TV or music, I would always pick music probably over TV.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Now if I had the option to choose between stuff I grew up watching and music, I would probably choose that. Like both for that.
Yeah. So what did you grow up watching?
I watched like a lot of like 90s cartoons and stuff. I used to I watched like a lot of like comedy shows. Like one of my favorite sitcom comedy shows of all time that always still makes me laugh to this day is King of Queens. That show is just so funny.
Oh, that's cool.
And then I grew up like watching shows that were humor, but then there were shows that were like humorous. Like one of my favorite cartoons growing up was Hey Arnold. It was a kids show, but it wasn't your typical kid show. It had humor, but it dealt with like real life issues and stuff. And they put it like in the form of a cartoon, and it had like a jazz and blues type soundtrack to it. So it was a great cartoon.
Oh, that's dope. I have to check it. You have to link it to me. I would probably love it.
Yeah, and like I told people, it had humor, but it was a cartoon that dealt with like real life issues that if when you were a kid or a preteen or teenager growing up, you could be like, wow, that's how we felt growing up. I can relate to that.
Yeah.
And a few shows could do that, especially in animation, like Hey Arnold could do that. Like even King of the Hill, yes, it had comedy, but it dealt with like real serious issues too.
Yeah, that sounds really dope. I have to check them out.
I'm also a big fan of like Japanese animation because I grew up like watching like a lot of anime back in the day.
Oh, okay. Well, you know Hayao Miyazaki then?
Which one?
Hayao Miyazaki?
That?
Studio Ghibli?
Yes, I love
like Princess Mononoke and all of that.
Yes, I love that.
Oh.
That's like some of my favorite anime.
Okay, that is dope. Like in Finland, a lot of people appreciate his movies. Like they were big in Finland and still are. Most people know him.
Oh yeah, and his movies are so diverse, and that's like one of my favorite Japanese animation studios because their movies are like so diverse, and sometimes they deal with like serious subjects. Like if anyone's ever watched his movie Grave of the Fireflies, y'all need to watch that. But I will remind y'all that movie will make you tear up no matter who you are. It is a sad movie.
It is. I actually watched it as a kid, and it had me feeling a lot of feelings. It was a dark movie to watch as a kid, but I really loved the visual. Like it was visually it was very, very like beautiful, and I still remember like most of the scenes.
Yeah,
It
like
really impressed me a lot.
We won't spoil it for anyone in the chat, but
No.
we'll say in the movie, this movie like deals with a matter that like a lot of movies don't touch on. Like, yeah, in World War II, we know how bad the war was, but this movie shows how bad World War II was affecting like children during the war, that it messed them up a lot more and they went through the most.
Yeah.
And my grandpa fought in World War II, and he would like tell me a little bit about stuff what happened, but he wouldn't tell me everything. And I can see why, because there was a lot of horrible stuff that happened to him and stuff that he's seen.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, and I've noticed that the war we had with Russia, us Finnish people, it had an impact on like several generations. So even though we kept our independence, uh, still, you know, I can still see that my generation and the ones before me, like I can definitely see how the war like affected those generations.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I always told people, like, we got to learn in today's world. We can't let history repeat itself because there's like people will always make it like, oh, that should go back to how it was like this. I'm like, no, you don't want everything to go back to how it was because not everything back then was good.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why I like to like watch movies that are about history, or I watch like a lot of history documentaries, like especially a lot of world history. I like to like watch a lot of documentaries for that.
Yeah, I think it's really important to know the history of different countries, and I've tapped into that lately because I really skipped school most of the time growing up. So now I'm actually interested in everything they tried to learn teach me. So now I like to read about all that stuff.
Oh yeah. And one of the other questions we usually ask our guests is like,
Yeah.
if you had to pick like top 5 like favorite movies, like it's a movie that no matter how many times you've seen it, you will never get tired of watching it. You'll always watch it, and then it will never get old to you.
Well, I mean, probably Stanley Kubrick's Shining is really good, and Stanley Kubrick's Clockwork Orange, and then I did like the '78 like original Halloween by John, directed by John Carpenter, and then Snatch is a great movie. All of those.
Oh yeah. And what is like some like local like restaurants in your area that if someone was like to visit your country or your area, what's like a good like restaurants like local like that's like a mom and pop's shop or a local business like restaurant wise that you would recommend that people visited if they visited your country?
Well, that's a good question. Like, if you want real traditional Finnish food, I would know where you would go. I would know the street, but I don't remember the name of the place. But other than that, we don't really have a lot of like restaurants with traditional Finnish food. But I'd say. Yeah, that's that's actually a hard question because we don't in Finland. I feel like the culture around like eating out together. We don't really have that. In Finland, it's more like well, we have an issue with like, or we've always had an issue with like drugs and alcohol. So in Finland, it's like, what's that question here would be like, what's your favorite bar? Because people don't really, I've noticed when I travel in other countries that people go out and eat together, but that's not like, or when I grew up, like that wasn't the thing. But um. I have to say, like my favorite restaurant, and I know the workers of that place, and if I would have to recommend any, it would be Söötnainen area, and it would be King Kebab for real. I would probably choose them as a restaurant.
And what would be like if someone was to try Finnish food for the first time? What's a good first dish you would recommend that they try that they would probably love?
Oh, reindeer and mashed potatoes. Yes.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah. And like when you started writing music, like do you remember like how old were you when you first like wrote like your first song?
Yeah, like I wrote my first song when I was 13, and it just came out of my like soul and heart. And then I actually didn't write a whole lot after that, but I had to write it. And then I wasn't writing a lot for years. Uh, I did some emceeing when I was a teenager, but then a lot of I had other things to do, so to speak. But then now I started like writing a lot. The past couple of years, I've been writing so much all the time. But my first track was when I was 13.
Nice. Yeah, I'm trying to get in the process of writing, like especially like what I've been going through. I want to try to like to write out my feelings or what I'm going through and like put it out in a form of a song and whatnot.
That is so dope.
Because that's some of the kind of music that I love. Music that like comes from the heart. That's like some of the top music I love is when it comes from the heart.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. And it's good to make music because you have all of that energy, and whether it be stronger feelings, like maybe even anger and stuff, it's just smart to put it in music. Music is constructive because then if you take that energy and put it in shenanigans, then you're in trouble.
Exactly.
So,
And that's one thing I've always been told by a lot of the people that I interview. And like I tell people, yes, us as the listener, music is therapy for us. But you got to remember, for the person that wrote the song, it's therapy for them too.
Yeah, like if they write from their heart, it probably is. But if they just write about like, hey, let's party and like uh, get some ladies and la la la, then maybe that can be therapeutic. Like, why am I even hating on stuff like that, like music like that? But I mean, I think especially in horrorcore or rap in general or in genres that aren't super mainstream, I think you have even more of like people who do it because they kind of like have to, not because it's a hobby or because they want to have fame or something, because they have to get it out of their system.
Exactly. And it's like, oh, I've always told people some of the best songs that have been recorded in the history of music was always a song that like came from a heart, or you could tell what that artist or band was like going through. And then sometimes you learn new stuff. You're like, oh, well, what was the inspiration for this song? And it's always cool to like to hear what the inspiration was.
Yeah, and the stories, and I think the track that I feel during my lifetime that has really spoken to me a lot is like Immortal Techniques, the Dancing with the Devil. When I heard it, I was
Yes.
like, okay, this is like I mean, that is a perfect example of like writing and rapping from the soul.
Yeah, I love Immortal Technique. I've actually seen him in concert and he kills it live in concert.
I can imagine. Yeah. Oh, you're so lucky you've seen him live. That's amazing.
And I'm glad there are starting to be, like we were talking earlier, like, yeah, there are like music festivals here that are dedicated to rap and hip hop, but not like as much as there is like in the other parts of the world. Like there's starting to be like festivals here that's fully dedicated to hip hop. Like LO Cool J started Rock the Bells, which is a whole hip hop like dedication like festival, like with legends and new up and coming people performing at.
Yeah. I mean, how is it in the States? It's of course, like you're a big country and everything, but I feel like in Europe, hip hop is kind of like, or I can't say hip hop is coming back, but the type of like beats maybe and some of the styles that you could see in like the golden era of hip hop, there's some like remakes of that is like sort of uh coming to like it's getting more popular. So is it in the States also like is it getting more popular to for the music to like sound more like it did back in the days?
I think people are just getting more creative
Oh,
again and all that. Instead, for a while, people were like getting lazy, or people would be like, oh, that music's dead. And I was like, no, there still is good hip hop out there. You just got to go out and look for it now.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I found like a lot of good like hip hop that I didn't even hear of, and sometimes it would just show up randomly on my feed. I'm like, oh, who's this artist? And I'm like, oh, and then I
Yes.
dig, and then I've even found like other dope hip hop artists from all over the world that way too.
Yeah. Yes. And like one artist that I found just because I downloaded Instagram. I'm so thankful for that because I would never have found so many interesting artists, but it's like Swift Homicide.
Oh yeah.
Jesus. I love his music.
I mean, Rolling Loud could be considered a hip hop festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like we get like a lot, and I think most people like, especially in the States, like me and other people I know, like even though a lot of them are here in the chat, like we appreciate it like not just as music. We know that it's a form of culture and it's music, and that it's not just like music. There's a culture to it. It's a movement. The music is like the soundtrack for that.
Oh, that is so well put.
Like we do have like open mic nights here in Denver where people can just go and freestyle, and it's just open mic. You just go on the mic and you just spit whatever you want and stuff.
Yes, we have that here too. That is very dope. I love it.
And I love because what I've also always loved about hip hop is it's a form of poetry. Just it's poetry with like an instrumental in the background.
Yes, definitely. In a way,
Like,
maybe also a way to tell a story.
exactly. And that's one thing I love is like when someone that can create visuals in their music, like Slick Rick. Everyone knows Slick Rick is like one of the greatest storytellers.
Yeah, yes.
Or
Yeah, I
even
love storytelling in hip hop.
me too. And that's why I tell people like I don't just love one style. I like have my favorites, but like a lot of it speaks to me. Like sometimes in like the States, it just depends on people's like demographic. But some people like me and a bunch of other people, we have love for it no matter where it's from.
That is very dope. I can appreciate that coming from Europe, especially.
I mean, yeah, I'm obviously gonna love West Coast shit because I live on the western part of the United States and I can relate
Yes.
to that. I can relate to
Yeah.
that stuff, but I also love New York type stuff. I love down south type hip hop.
Yeah.
It all speaks to me like no matter what. And I like always get so annoyed when everyone thinks it all sounds the same, and then I'll like prove people wrong. I'll literally put on some like LL Cool J, and then I'll put on some Snoop Dogg. I'm like, now does that sound the same? I don't think so.
Exactly. I'm gonna get my charger. Just a couple of seconds.
All right.
You know, I don't have a stand, so I just took brooms and all kinds of shit that I found in my home, and then I put tape, and then I just taped all of it together, and now I have this stand is actually working fine. I'm gonna put the charger in. Just a minute. Sorry for this.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, one of my
All
goals.
of my.
I want to travel around the world. That's one of my goals.
You know what? That's a great goal. You should do it.
Oh, maybe one of these days I'll go to Finland. You'll never know.
You know what? If you come to Finland, I will be your host, and
Sweet.
I will make you some traditional Finnish food, and I will take you to a bar where people are emceeing and everything. You know.
Exactly. And that's one thing I also love, especially like, yeah, in here, people are open-minded here, but I also noticed in like in some parts of Europe,
yeah,
y'all are more open-minded and accepting, which is good.
Really? Do you feel that way?
I mean,
really?
I guess it just depends on the country. Like I know some countries are open-minded and accepting, and then some aren't. It just depends where you go.
Yeah, that is true, but I would say that there are more like, well, I don't know what your like rules are on this podcast about talking about politics, but I've noticed that in Europe in general, I don't want to generalize, but in general, I'm gonna generalize it a little bit, but I feel like Europe is more leaning towards like a liberal side. So we have more understanding for diversity, I guess, in some terms, but there's also a hell of a lot of racism in Europe, and we also have our own problems. But yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's just like everywhere now in general.
Yes, it is.
But that's why I never like associate with those people. The only people I associate with are people that are open-minded and accepting and stuff. And I always told people you can always have a different belief than I do, and I'll still be cool with you. And that's how it should be.
Wow. You're very, I have to appreciate that attitude. You're very smart because you're actually like, I mean, if everybody would think like you, our society wouldn't be so polarized. So that's great because I feel like people are like at war with each other right now.
Right, or you have those people that think their opinion only matters and no one else's opinion matters. And that's why I tell people I'll always accept people's opinions. Now, the second they try to shove their opinions down my throat, then it's like, no. That's when it's like, okay, I don't associate with that. It's like, you can tell me your opinion, but don't try to shove it down my throat and say, I'm right, you're wrong. I don't like people that are like that.
Yeah. Yeah, me neither. So I feel you on that one.
Like, I know how evil like dictatorships are and stuff, and I know my family history. My family has even told me how evil dictatorship and all that stuff is because a lot of them escape that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Like my grandpa's like actually from Greece and stuff.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
And they're like from like an island in Greece, and everyone knows Greece. It's one of those countries that has like so many islands. Like there is a lot.
Yeah, there is.
And I learned, and I always thought that was the country with the most islands. This is why it always helps to do your research, y'all. Actually, the country with the most islands isn't Greece. It's actually Sweden.
Really, my neighbor? Sverige. Okay, Sweden. That's cool. I like Sweden. It's very beautiful, and I understand why it has the most islands. Yeah. Would you want to go there?
I mean, I'd love to. I mean, I love how the language sounds. Love the
Yeah.
I love the food, and I heard that even in Sweden they have like an appreciation for hip hop too. And even my friend says there's like a lot of like good like Swedish metal bands and stuff.
Yeah. Yes. There is definitely a hip hop scene in Sweden, and I mean Sweden had their own hip hop scene actually raised its head like way before Finland. Finland is always everybody's gonna hate me now, but Finland is a bit like Finland is always comes after Sweden with a lot of like cultural things. But yeah, Sweden has a great rapper called Ken Ring. He is very talented.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he makes hip hop, and they have a lot of like insanely good producers in Sweden. So great.
Oh yeah. Well, and how you said you would be my host if I came there. Well, if you came here, I'd be your.
Of course.
I'd be.
Really?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah. Like they have like a lot of like hip hop night like here, like where I live. And that's even one of my goals is I want to like open like a nightclub that like just plays like hip hop music. I think that would be dope.
That would. I would join. I would definitely come.
And then like make it reminiscent of the early days of hip hop where people would just rent out like a club and you'd have a live DJ and an open mic night.
That is very much needed. Live music. I think after Corona, people started to be at home more, and like yeah, live music definitely. And if you're a good rapper, then I think like being able to perform live really shows also like if the rapper is skilled or not, because you can't mix and master that, and you can't like take one bar and then rap a couple of other bars, and it's like you have to do the whole track or the whole album. And yeah, I want to see people live.
And I love live music too. Like when after COVID, I was happy to be going back to live shows because that's one thing I miss. Like I love hearing music, but when you hear like live music, no matter what, it's a great feeling too. And that's therapeutic too. Like I recently saw Bone Thugs and Harmony, and it was like very therapeutic for me. And it made me realize how much their music has been very therapeutic for me.
Really, you saw them live? I would do anything to see them live. Because actually, I have to say that Bone Thugs and Harmony was was very my entire youth. I listened to them a lot, and it was very therapeutic for me.
And that's one thing I've always loved about their style is like I explained this to my dad because he's like, why are they called Bone Thugs and Harmony? I'm like, because they rap, but they do it in a harmonious way where they're like rapping and singing. They call it like singing rap.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like their all of their albums are great.
Yeah, like that was actually my second time seeing them. So who knows? If you ever come to America, we'll definitely have to go to a lot of hip hop shows.
Yeah, definitely. I would love it.
Because that's what I like to do. Is I like to like go to a lot of hip hop shows, and I even like to support my local hip hop scene. Like people think we don't have a good hip hop scene here in Colorado or Denver, when actually we do.
And like, so if I would be there now and you would take me somewhere to listen to some music, like what places there like organized like hip hop events?
I don't know any at the moment because like I did just move back here a few years ago, so I'm still like getting used to like going, oh, when was this here? Like for years I didn't know there was such thing as like arcade bars, and now there's a cool thing we have here called arcade bars, where it's a bar but it's also an arcade that you can go to, so you can play arcade games and then like have a drink and stuff.
Oh wow, that's dope. I like that concept, you know?
Like there's one in Denver, it's all 80s themed. It's an 80s themed like retro arcade bar, so all the arcade games are from the 80s and then they play 80s music, and then a lot of the drinks are based off of like video games and stuff. Like there's one called the Princess Peach, and it's literally a peach alcohol flavored drink.
That's so dope. I would go there. I will go there tonight, if I could.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my goals, is to get a passport.
Yeah. You seem like the type of person that would really enjoy traveling, because you seem like, I don't know you, we just met on this live, but like the vibe I get from you is that you're very open, and like I've noticed that when people travel, being open is of great value, and I think you would probably really like traveling a lot. I think that would be probably a very meaningful experience for you.
Well, and that's what sometimes I feel like I need to do, like especially like when I need to go on reset mode. And some people just need to travel as like find themselves again. Sometimes it's like a spiritual journey. And that's why I've always told people I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. There's like two different things. Religious means you've gone through you're reading about someone's hell that they've gone through. Spiritual, like me and other people, you've gone through your own personal hell, and you can like share that with people.
Yeah, definitely. I think all humans are spiritual, whether they want to admit it to themselves or not. And maybe all of us aren't in touch with that side of ourselves, but we're all spiritual beings, I think.
Exactly. Or sometimes it's best to just take all the positives of every other religion and then incorporate that in your life. Just take all the positives, because we don't know what's right or wrong. Maybe one side is right about one thing, but then the other side might have something else right. So that's why I tell people sometimes just take all the positives from each and add that into your life.
Yeah, definitely. Don't have to be all fundamentalistic and go like crazy over some theories. Just like pick the best parts of it and apply that. Sounds good.
Yep. And I'm definitely, that's why like that's like even some of the hip hop I've also enjoyed too, is like some of the hip hop that gets like very spiritual and stuff. Yeah. And that's why I've always liked even like horrorcore, because the fundamentals of horrorcore is like the next level under gangster rap. It goes more dark, where gangster rap talks about like society and stuff. Well, horrorcore talks about society, conspiracy theories. Sometimes it touches on the paranormal.
Yes, exactly. I mean, for me, this probably sounds really fucking like insane in a way, but
the best way to describe it is horrorcore. I always tell people it's showing society, but society in the form of a horror movie, because society feels like a horror movie.
You know what? That is so well put.
And that's
really
and that's the origins. And that's the origins of how the genre started. And some people have lost that. And I'm like, yeah, you're talking about messed up stuff, but you're supposed to be like putting a mirror up to society and go, society feels just like a real life horror movie.
And for many people, it is. For many people, it is. And I think we all have experiences in our life that have felt like a horror movie. And if you can put that into, if you can put that into like music and make something constructive out of it, that's great. Because I know a lot of people that I grew up with, they don't make music. Some of them aren't even alive. Some of them are like so addicted to drugs that they couldn't make music. So I'm just really grateful that I can make music and, put all of that energy from different experiences like into music.
Yeah, like Scum has even said some of his influence for his music is he hears a lot of terrible stuff on the news and he's like, damn. And that's what makes him write his horrorcore is some of the messed up stuff that he hears on the news.
Yeah. Yeah. That's also a great that's one way to write about horrorcore too. I actually listen a lot to Scum. I appreciate his music a lot.
Oh yeah. Well, he puts on an annual festival here in Colorado like every year, so should definitely try to come here and perform there. It's called Gore Fest.
You know what? I've been watching the Gorefest flyers and I've been like, wow, that's a really dope event. But I'm in Finland. I was always thinking like I want to go and watch, like I want to watch everybody perform because I looked at the flyer and I was like, fuck, I want to be there and listen. But I'm in Finland.
And you'd be amazed the people that we've been able to get perform there. Like we've literally had people from other countries come and perform there.
Really? Well, I mean, it would be like a dream for me to perform there, but yeah, yes, horrorcore means a lot to me. Saved me from a lot of trouble. Let's put it that way.
Oh yeah. What would you describe would be like probably your most darkest song that you like ever wrote? That made you even made you go, oh wow, I went that dark. Holy shit.
Well, it has to be some of my unreleased stuff, but I don't have a lot of stuff out there, and I've been like really active like 2 years. But I write every day, and I write 4 to 5 hours because I just have to do it. But I think the darkest track I have right now out there is probably the one that I also wrote in Swedish, which is Hur det Hur det är is the name of the track, but it starts in English. But it's on my Instagram page. But there was some there was some lyrics there that were pretty gruesome, and that has to be it.
And where else can people hear your music, or is it just Spotify at the moment, or do you have an actual YouTube also?
I don't have YouTube, but Spotify. Yeah, you can find the Spotify.
Yeah, it's right down there, y'all. Yeah, I would recommend like also like if you want to like really get more of your music out there besides Spotify, YouTube is a good way to do it too.
Yeah, that's what everybody told me in the beginning. Look, I didn't have Instagram, I didn't have TikTok. I 2 years ago, I was still very much into like I didn't fuck with the internet a whole lot at that time. I only had like Facebook that I logged into like once a month, to be honest.
I don't blame you. I try to stay away from like Facebook. The only time I use Facebook is like for like my friends and family, and then when I'm like really like promoting people and all that stuff, that's what I use my Instagram for and my YouTube.
Yeah. I'm so happy I downloaded Instagram and put my page up, and I should probably also put more music into like TikTok and everything. Like I really like Instagram. I found a lot of great like new friends via Instagram and a lot of people that I can make music with, and I have a lot of features coming up as well with a lot of new people, and I get like I found a lot of nice coworkers through the DM, so I'm just super thankful.
Hell yeah. Well, that's probably all that we have. Like, thank you for coming on the show. Again, like I tell all my guests, you're always welcome to come back on the show, no matter what. Even if you have something that you want to promote, just let me know and I'll book a spot for you. Or we could do a whole episode of a show one time and just talk strictly hip hop and stuff.
Sounds very awesome. Thank you for having me. I had a blast.
Hell yeah. And again, you're always welcome on the show, or if you know anyone that would like to be on the show, just like have them hit me up.
Definitely. And thank you for keeping up the culture. I appreciate it.
Well, like I tell people, this culture means a lot to me, and this culture like has legit saved my life. It literally has.
I can relate to that. Definitely.
Hell yeah. Well, you're always welcome to like hang out in the chat too if you want to, like the live chat if you want to. That's up to you.
Dope. Thank you so much.
Hell yeah. And again, thank you for joining, and yeah, keep up the great work on what you're doing and never give up. Just keep up the great work.
Thank you. Talk to you later.
Later. Hell yeah, y'all. That was our guest, Rottweiler. This was a very great show. This was a very, very great show. I thought I had topics to talk about on the show, but I think it was a very great show. This show ended up being very good. So, yeah. What did you guys think? So, yeah, make sure you check out her music. Links is down in her Spotify. And, yeah. She's very talented. Go check her out. And, yeah, just remember, y'all, that's the power of music. When music is worldwide, that is the power of music. And when the love for music is worldwide, that is the power of music, no matter what. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you, everyone who tuned in. And yeah, this was episode 286. We are on the road to the 300th episode. We are also on the road to the 9th anniversary of the show. Thank you, everyone who tuned in. And yeah, I think this was a great show tonight. What do you guys think? Very great show. No, when I feel good knowing that when there's people in other parts of the world that even appreciate what I do and love the hard work that I put in for this culture and stuff, because I do. I really do. So Rottweiler, she's always welcome on the show anytime. And yeah, very down to earth. Make sure you guys go check out her music. And yeah, I will see you guys later, probably tomorrow morning with my Hangout stream. And yeah, message me, y'all. Let me know how I did tonight. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow if I do a morning Hangout session. And then also I'm going to be doing Juggalo Movie Night this Friday. And then I'm going to be taking a break from doing the Juggalo Movie Night. So this Friday will be the last time I do Juggalo Movie Night for a while. And then I'm going to take a little break from it. So yeah, have a good night. Love y'all. And yeah, you guys already know who I am. I am Mr. D to the O to the N to the C to the H to the A to the O to the S, your friendly neighborhood JUGGALO, the Karma Millionaire. If you don't know, now you know. And if you still don't know, well, then it sucks to be you. Later, y'all. Have a good night, y'all.